I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, streaming January 25th, only on Netflix.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Central Texas Life. And we're going to talk about one of my favorite nonprofits in the area, and that is Compassion Waco. Used to be known as Compassion Ministries. And we got Debbie Luce, who is the past president of the board, and Amanda Saminiago, who, and that's a big name.
It is a big name.
And it's a new last name.
It is. It is. A little easier to pronounce my name before, but.
That's right, a little bit. But Amanda, of course, was with we first met through Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce, Athena Awards, and all that kind of got started under your wonderful leadership, and went to a bank job, and now you're executive director, taking over for the amazing Jill McCall, who for 23 years has just done such an amazing thing with what we used to call Compassion Ministries, now rebranded to Compassion Waco. Of course, wonderful special events to raise money. But let's talk first about the mission of what you do. And I love your motto is empowering families to build solid foundations.
Yeah. So we, the premise of what we do is transitional housing for families with children who are facing a homeless situation. But there's more to bringing a family in and teaching them how to budget. Our families that come to us aren't coming to us in this situation because they didn't pay their bills on time. There's so much other deeper rooted things. And so that foundation really was either never founded well, or it's really rocky and it's been broken. And so that's what we do, is bring them in and give them a safe place to rebuild, to heal, to learn, on all fronts, kind of holistically speaking, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, with their children, as parents, just relationally, and learning how to do life with other people, learning what support looks like, teaching them, there's a lot of traumas and situations that families come in with. So we're really, just kind of arm in arm with them, journeying with them through this season to get them to a healthy place.
And it is definitely a prescribed amount of time.
Yes.
It's 6 months.
Yes. 6 months up to about 18 months. And so that initial kind of set is 6 months. And then if a family they need a little bit more time, because honestly, 6 months is really just not a whole lot of time, depending on your situation when you come in, that you have to rebuild, right? So
to start over.
Right. Yeah. So every family, their needs look different. So 6 months, 12 months may work, but 18 months is about the max that we'd like to help our families.
And this is not emergency housing at all.
No. Which there's just not. We're the only organization in the Central Texas area that does what we do, and there simply isn't enough emergency housing for families with children. So we get calls all the time. They need something tonight. We have to kind of outsource and do our best to help them. But we aren't emergency. So if someone has an immediate need, we aren't the place for them. We have an application that folks have to go through. And then we have a wait list. There are so many families in our community that are in great need that we have a wait list regularly.
Yeah. Debbie, I always say I wish groups like this didn't have to exist. It wouldn't be great if you could just
That would be wonderful.
put yourself out of business. But you've been involved with Compassion for a long time.
Probably about 20 years.
Yeah, of course, good
Because
friend.
Jill
of,
McCall was
I
my
was
good
gonna
friend.
Say,
There
a
you go.
good friend of Jill, and
Well,
you
it's
can't
such a
tell her
wonderful
no
mission.
to.
I mean,
Yeah,
exactly. I was,
so
honored to do so.
But you keep coming back, and then
True.
you become the president of the board. So yeah, I mean that's a big commitment for you.
Yes, but I mean, it's well worth my time to be involved. And this year I'm chairing the banquet, which we are bringing back after all the COVID years, where we did an at-home banquet, which worked well, but we thought it's time to bring our folks together.
People want to
and-
get back together,
Right, and just, get everybody invigorated again, excited about what's happening down at Compassion. So it'll be a great evening to be able for Amanda to get up and tell them what's going on
So
down
it'll
there.
kind of be your formal, in a way, an introduction
Exactly.
to the community at large, because
Exactly.
you've been in this role for about a year.
Right.
So which is good, and it was quite of a learning curve, I bet.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot of experience in nonprofit things, a
Right.
business background, also a lot of governmental work. But yeah, absolutely. Coming in to a new organization, it's taken some time. It's taken some culture change. It's taken some staffing, things. And so, but we're learning and going, and God is honoring all of that. And so it's really good.
Yeah. When I would talk to Jill, I loved hearing about the things that her change. And you can see over the years, because of Debbie, your long involvement with it, from a point where they didn't have an actual residential facility for them. Let's talk about that. Those days of getting
I'm
it
trying
together
to
there on
think
Austin
when
Avenue.
Hope House was built.
So Compassion became Compassion in '94,
Okay.
and then Jill came on board in '99, and Hope House we opened Hope House in 2002, which is 12 apartments, and then we have a second section which we call Hope House 2, and there's an additional 2 apartments, and that opened a couple years later. So we've been what you see as Compassion since 2002.
Yeah. So, and it had been a hotel, a motel or something there, at about 18th, 19th, and
We're at 14th.
14th and
14th
Austin.
in Austin.
And I'm not sure what that building was before.
What was it? I mean, I thought it was. Anyway,
I am not sure.
but to provide a home, because you really want to have that home-like atmosphere.
And
for
the
folks.
apartments have that feel. And
Yeah.
each apartment, and you can talk to this, has a set of people that are in charge of that apartment, like churches, different groups of people that
sort of sponsor it.
exactly. And Amanda can tell you all that they do for the apartment when they move into the apartment. That you go out and buy food for them. I mean, they've got food for a couple of weeks when they walk in the door.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels homey. There's colorful comforters and towels and anything that you would need. They just walk in the door. I mean, toiletries, cleaning supplies. Anyway, it's such a great thing.
The apartments are fully furnished, so when a family comes into our program, often they have little or nothing. And so the apartments are fully furnished with linens, toiletries, food, furniture, and we do heavily rely on community support to help us do all of that, because that's a very costly and time-consuming, part of our program. But it's super important that when our families come in, we want it to feel like home. We want them to feel safe. We want them to know that they are loved, and that's really what they experience when they come in. So,
And this is something for families,
absolutely.
but not necessarily single women with
Right.
kids or a child, but men too. I mean, it's
Right. It is, we are for families. There are other programs in the community that, would help a single person. There just aren't many places that are able to house families. And so that's really kind of where our niche is. And this could be a single mom. It could be a single dad. It could be a 2-parent family. It could be a grandmother that has custody of grandchildren.
Yeah.
And so we do see the whole array of different variations of families. Yeah.
I'm sure, even in the relatively short period of time you've been there, you've seen some success stories.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I loved quizzing Jill about that.
Yeah. That's. So there are success stories, and not everybody's ready for the program, and that's the hard part, right?
Oh, really?
Well, because some folks come and they're just we're in a moment of desperation, right?
Yeah.
But then our program isn't a walk in the park. We're
It's
not just an
yeah.
apartment. They're
Right.
assigned to a case manager. They're working on a service plan, helping to identify obstacles that are preventing them from being in the community in a more of a stable environment. And so they're working really hard on budgeting things and education pieces and job skills training things. They're working on spiritual development and just different avenues of really, like I said earlier, holistically making their life more stable. But yes, when we have folks that come in and they get it and they're ready, and they work the program, and that one just glimpse of hope makes all of the hard times worth it.
Yeah.
So we have, just in my tenure, we've got several families that have gone through the program successfully. They're in not only their own home, or their own apartment, but they are thriving in their workplace and getting raises and promotions, and their children are in the same school, which is huge, because when we're talking about a family that's living a very transient, unknown, kind of chaotic life, children are in and out of schools or not at school at all. And so that's hard for them to develop socially and even educationally, right? So those are huge wins when we get to walk with a family who then completes it successfully, and we talk with them 6 months, a year, 2 years later, and they're still thriving and putting those skill sets and things that they learned in the program. They're putting those things to practice, and it's evident in their life.
Yeah, Coach W, you spent many years on the Waco ISD Board of Trustees, and saw firsthand the challenges a lot of families have in the schools, and it really, I think it's almost an unknown thing to a lot of people. How many folks are students that are couch surfing?
Right,
And
absolutely.
just living in really desperately, as you say, transient circumstances.
Yes, and so Amanda sees that at Compassion, being able to help those families that otherwise, would not have a stable place to live, and being so helpful, getting the children the services that they need, not just getting them in schools, but everything else that I'm sure you help them with as well.
Medical,
right.
Dental care if
Oh,
they
yeah,
don't
glasses
have.
if they need
Absolutely.
whatever.
School supplies, clothing.
All of those aspects.
All of
Just
those
think.
things.
So if they're already in a school somewhere and then they're accepted into the program, can they stay? Will WISD let them stay in their original school?
Depends.
How does that work? Because
Yeah.
you are, in downtown Waco.
Right,
just
absolutely.
about.
So we are WISD,
Right.
but for instance, we have a couple of families in different school districts because that's where their home district was. They were already in a La Vega or a Midway or whatever first. And yes, there's kind of a covering there for them, and as long as that school district has the means to bus them to and from, then they absolutely are welcome and encouraged to stay. They've already kind of built that relationship and
They
that
have friends
routine.
there and-
Right,
sure.
right. At least there's something that's stable for them in that environment. But we work closely with the different school districts, WIC in particular, but with those different liaisons to help navigate through that, get buses set up for children so that they can be bused back and forth.
Yeah. Well, because their education is so crucial. There are kind of a sort of a list of requirements that you have. We've made it clear it's not, an abused wife suddenly needs a place to go. She's
Right.
leaving this,
Right.
person. That's not what this is.
Right, right.
So it's something you apply for and they're accepted. But what are some of the requirements you have for?
Right.
for folks?
We do see folks come from out of situations like you
abusive
mentioned,
situation.
and maybe they've gotten services at another community partnership, and they're kind of waiting. So we do partner with like the Family Abuse Center or Sally's House, CareNet, and so folks that are receiving services in those programs often do come to us afterwards. But really, the initial criteria is a family, so they have to have children under the age of 18 in their custody. We're a drug and alcohol-free program, so they have to not
'Cause
only...
that could often be the source of the problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's underlying things with that.
Right.
But they not only have to be able to pass a drug test at intake, but then throughout their entire tenure
Good.
in the program.
You really hold them accountable for
Yes, ma'am.
their
Because
lifestyles.
right, because that's part of what we're wanting to help them do is build stability and sustainability and healthiness, so that they're able to raise their family the best way that God created them to do. And then really the other piece is we do background checks. And so often we see a wide variety of folks with different types of charges, because that's also what we do is we're a place to rebuild, right? And often families that have a history, they've been shunned or their other services aren't applicable to them. They're not available to them. And so we serve as that. One thing that we typically don't allow is assault charges or some type of weapons charge. Otherwise, just about anything else, we kind of navigate through. It's all case by case. But also then I guess the next really biggest piece is they're required to work while they're in our program, and they're required to pay rent. And so that's all part of building sustainability and being able to be independent.
Yeah.
And so
It's a reasonable rent.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but
Yes.
there is money involved.
Absolutely. One of the really cool things, though, that we do is once they've completed their program, if they've done all of the things successfully, they're eligible to receive up to half of that rent back when they complete the program. So if a family is paying, $600 a month in rent, then they're eligible to receive up to $300 of that back when they leave. And that's to help them build a savings. It's to help them buy necessities for their new place, first and last month's rent, that type of thing. So, so that's a really unique perk, I guess, to the program and doing the work is you're not going to find anywhere where you're going to get rent for $300 a month,
No.
Ever. So we do kind of base their rental amount on their income with a minimum and a max, and it's very, very affordable compared to what the rest of the community looks like, right?
Yeah.
So we work with them also in just to utilize different resources around the community that are available to them to help them get into housing, more permanent housing when they leave our program.
Right. So you have a lot of volunteers. Debbie, I want to talk to you about volunteers as, you yourself have been for many years. We know Jill kind of drew you to that. But what other volunteer type work have you done, and what are the needs there for volunteers?
Well, I was an apartment host for many years.
Yeah.
Just actually gave that up this year after doing it for, 20-something years, which was so fun.
So you met a lot of people through the years.
There was a group of 5 of us, and we would, when someone would move out, we would go and we would, buy all new stuff and go in there and even try to find out the ages of the children that were coming in and maybe put a football or a stuffed toy or something, special for that particular child in the apartment. So when they came in, they saw something fun. Yeah. So I did that. Basically, I've worked on the banquet all these years.
Yeah, you've
I've done that a lot. So, there's many opportunities to volunteer down there and just serving on the board. I've been there for 6 years now on the board. I volunteered before I was on the board. But anyway, it's just, so worthwhile.
I know on the website there's a place to volunteer, a little button you can push, and I'm sure there's, lots of different ways depending on the amount of time and resources somebody has.
Absolutely. If you are a willing, able body, we will put you to work. No, there are lots of opportunities.
Even childcare, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have childcare in the evenings, and so we're always trying to recruit volunteers for that. We have different opportunities throughout just kind of the daytime hours with administrative pieces. We have a clothes closet also on site, and so when a family comes in, or especially like when the seasons change and we've been wearing, warmer clothes, and now it's getting a little bit cooler, so we try to provide things for our family. So we always need volunteers and to help organize our clothes closet. But there's a wide variety of different ways to get involved. We have several service groups that come in about once a month. And so we do different service projects on site, usually on a Saturday. Anything from painting to yard work to organizing closets, just like storage things that we have on site, or more hands-on things with families. We have volunteers that oversee our financial literacy programs, and are just our different kind of mental health program pieces. And so there's you name it. If God's placed something on your heart and it's not on our list on the website, you are welcome to reach out, and we will make it happen.
Exactly.
We will make it happen.
Make something happen.
Absolutely.
Here. Well, we talked about the fundraising, and excited about this coming February, the luau that is going to be an amazing, fun dance with the morticians that our friend Van Davis organizes. Anyway, that's coming up on February 10th, and Compassion Waco, one of the beneficiaries of that. So that's going to be fun. So we'll all be together yet again. But Debbie, let's talk about some of the ways you do raise money, because this takes money.
Exactly. So the banquet is November the 14th. It's on a Tuesday night. And so it will be at the Carling Bright Arboretum. And we have sold tables for that. So that's one raise. Obviously, we raise money. Another way, and that is exciting and a lot of people love, Bloomingdale's, Kim Cecine and Bloomingdale's Floral does a deal for us every year. And I've brought some flowers here today to give to Ann.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you're
beautiful.
welcome.
So I'm a flower girl.
She is a flower girl. I know that. She knows all the names of the flowers. So you'll have to tell me what these are, because I'm not that. But anyway,
Pittosporum.
Kim came to me, I bet it's probably been 10 or 12 years ago, with this idea. She said, I have an idea. People will pay an amount of money, which this cost $300 for the year, and you get a $50 arrangement from Bloomingdale's once a month for 12 months.
For $300?
Yes.
$300.
$300.
It's a steal.
It's a $600 value. If you $50 times 12 is $600 if you just went and bought it. So yes, you get this is a prototype of the flowers you would get once a month, and they designate a particular week of the month that is, and this is it right now, Compassion Week, where you get to go from Tuesday to Friday all day long and pick out a flower arrangement that they've made, and Compassion will get to keep $120 out of the $300 donation. So you pay Compassion $300, and we retain $120 out of that $300.
That's great.
And so basically, Kim's just, she's not obviously making.
She's not making any money.
She's
on
like
this
kind of
deal.
going in the hole, because flowers have gotten so expensive.
Oh, I know. Everything has gotten
But
expensive.
anyway, she's just been delightful. They're so great to work with, and she's wonderful, just such a community partner to do this for us. So if anybody is interested in doing this Bloomingdale's deal, it will start in December.
Okay.
So you can call Compassion, do a credit card over the phone or send a check in. They'll put you on the list, and then you can be a Compassion Bloomingdale's flower person for the year.
That is really cool. That is
it's a cool fundraising
hats off
idea.
To Kimberly for that. Yeah.
Kim, she's been great.
What a
doing
great
that for
community
us.
partner.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's been awesome.
So many events that provides the flowers
Right,
for
she
it,
does,
and
and she's
it just
wonderful.
really adds to the event. Well, it's going to be a wonderful event. I'm looking forward to being there.
Yes,
And,
Ann's emceeing for us.
Yeah,
so.
it's been a while since I have.
Yeah,
and,
well, we haven't had it since
I
2019.
know, haven't had it in a while.
so-
And Mike's going to be a waiter.
Yes,
Whatever
yes,
you need him to do. He's more than happy to do that.
Yes.
I think we're going to cover a lot of things that I wanted to talk about for sure. But I want to end with my little questionnaire. That was something that you've done it before, haven't you? So do you remember what you answered the question?
No, I don't know what your question is.
And I can.
It'll be
I can
new.
assure you, I don't remember what you said. But this is what, if you remember, inside the actor studio, James Lipton would ask these, and it was based on some French dude came up with. Anyway, so this is my take on these questions. Debbie, I'm going to ask you, your microphone is trying to eat you. It keeps
moving.
creeping up.
It's like going,
there you go. Yeah, you might need to hold it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. I just noticed
it's coming on
it was
in
on
here.
your neck. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask both of you these questions. What is your favorite word? And I'll start with you, Debbie.
Favorite word?
Word?
Just
Favorite
a word.
Favorite word.
How about love?
It's good.
Dream.
Ooh, that's good too.
That's a good one.
Least favorite word. I'll start with you, Amanda.
No, maybe.
Know any 2-year-olds? Yeah.
Negative?
Yeah.
I don't like anything negative.
Yeah. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally? I'll start with Debbie.
Doing something to make somebody else's life better.
Yeah. And you've done that since I've known you.
Gosh, I would say probably very similarly, just making someone else aware of their potential and all that they have available within them to be who they desire to be, who God has called them to be. And so that comes in different ways, right?
I kind of, picture comes to my mind of somebody kind of like this, and then they're just, yeah. What turns you off creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Well, I was
Go ahead. Either one.
I don't like anybody that thinks they're better than anybody else. I don't know how to say that in a more concise way, but
Maybe arrogance.
Arrogance.
Sort of
There you go.
just an arrogant attitude or air.
I was
I
gonna,
can think of some crude ways to describe that, but I won't say it.
it's probably best, huh? For me, yes, absolutely arrogance, but I think just a closed-mindedness
Yeah.
is super hard to navigate through if there's no
I agree.
willingness to budge or to be open to a different, to
Yeah.
exploring anything different.
Yeah, my way or the highway kind of
Right,
attitude.
right.
Yeah.
it's a good one.
What sound do you love the most?
The ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, the
A
ocean.
lot of
Peace and
people.
quiet, because I don't get much of that
don't get much of
ever.
that, yeah.
Just
Bet
when it's
not.
silent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like birds chirping.
Yeah. Sound of nature, that's good. What sound do you hate?
Like horns honking.
Yeah.
Kind of irritating.
Yeah. I hate to be honked at. It's like,
What did I do? What happened? What do I
I'm sorry, no, I did something wrong.
I didn't mean to.
A sound that I don't like. Maybe like screeching on the chalkboard.
Oh yeah. That's
Or
that's
or
probably
smacking.
my top one.
The
Just-
chewing and smacking.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like
Smacking,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. What other profession would you have liked to try?
Well,
Yeah.
I was a teacher for a very
I know.
quick
right?
moment.
Right.
What else would I like to try? I think I would have liked to be a realtor.
Really?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
we
that
know
would have
some
been
pretty
fun.
successful ones.
Yes, we do. Yes, I think that would have been
They
fun.
make it look easy though. Something
Yeah.
tells me.
It's probably not as easy as it looks. I don't know. I like
Yeah.
people, and that's kind of a people job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
you
don't
would.
know.
Yeah, you would be very good
Anyway,
at that. I could see
I've
that.
thought about that.
Okay. What about you, Amanda?
I don't know.
Oh, really? Well, you've done a lot of different things.
She has.
I have done a lot of different things, but honestly, Anne, this is my absolute dream job.
That's neat.
Is that
Um,
awesome?
I love to hear
It
I
that.
know.
absolutely is.
Because it's not easy.
as
No, I know.
hard
not
as it
easy.
is.
But I knew I headed the search committee. I knew Amanda had a heart for this kind of work.
Right.
Which you'd have to have a heart for it to do it.
Right.
You're
It's a
certainly not going
calling.
to do it.
Now, I'll
Right.
be honest. I have said, God, are you sure?
Yeah.
Is this really my calling?
No, I take it back. This is not what I want to do, But that's
Everybody
just,
has those,
yeah,
those
that's
days.
just in life in general, right? So yeah, I don't know that this is by far my favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, then what job do you know you would not want to do?
Think about that. I don't know. I admire police officers, but I don't know that I could do that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I think very highly of them, but
yeah,
I don't know that I could do that.
yeah. To put that gun on every day
Yeah,
and
I
not know if you're
mean-
coming home.
They're awesome
mean,
to be
right.
able to, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand the negative attitude about law enforcement because
Oh.
they're what
Yeah,
keep us in a sane
exactly.
society.
Wonderful people. I just don't know that I'd have
Yeah.
that in me to do that.
Yeah.
But I admire them.
Yep. Okay. Wouldn't want to be a cop. What about you?
I would not want to drive the school bus. I would not. That's not my cup of tea.
That's so fun. I have a friend and up in the Dallas area, and he's as a retiree, has been driving a bus for years, and he loves it. And he
Really?
jokes with the kids,
Yeah.
and my hat's off to
You must
somebody
have some good kids.
like that. Well, not necessarily. No, he's got some stories,
Got to
but
learn to love them, you know.
but yeah, it's you got to have them.
Absolutely. But I'll take what God called me to on this side.
Okay. Okay, so last question.
Okay.
When you arrive at the pearly gates, what do you want to hear God say?
Come on in.
This is also a fear of mine to not live. Even though I just told you this is my most favorite, my absolute dream job, to not live to the full potential and do the things that God has called me to do in that. And so the reverse of that is meeting him face to face, and for him to say, I'm proud of you. You did it, right? Not just an actions based, but to know that I've lived a life that was fulfilled of the purpose that he had for me. So
Well said. Beautiful. Thank you both so much.
yeah, thanks for having us.
Compassion Waco, and you can go to your website.
Absolutely.
There's a place to click on and give if you would like to do that.
Would
Absolutely.
be wonderful.
But appreciate both of you and all that you do for the community and what you do for these families. One family at a time, but seeing their lives change has just got to mean a lot.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's totally
It does,
fantastic.
All right.
We
Thank
appreciate
you. Debbie Luce, Amanda Saminiago.
Sure.
I like saying your name.
I know. It's great, isn't it?
Congratulations. She's a newlywed. That's why.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
you're going to be a newlywed probably for 2 or 3 more years.
Probably.
At least. Okay.
Probably.
It's fine. Anyway, thank you for being with us. And we'll see you again next time on Central Texas Life. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.